Hey, what's up, yo? This is Snuggy2 coming at you early in the morning with another comic haul. I wasn't able to sleep, so I decided to get up and bag some books and make a video. First, as always, I want to thank everyone who has taken their time to watch this video and post a comment. I appreciate that. I also want to issue the COPA statement that this video is intended for adults and not children. YouTube sent out the email to all of the creators of videos, VIA YouTube creators, with some information about the COPA and the regulation. And based on my understanding of their email, you have to go through the YouTube app and Creator app, Studio app actually, and label all your videos whether they're intended for children or not. When I went back on my old videos, because you have to make that statement for all your videos, they had already been defaulted to not intended for children and for adults only over the age of 18. So I think what they've done is, and based on my understanding, because even when I made this video, you actually have to say that the video is intended for children. Otherwise, it defaults to adults only. So I know a lot of people, a lot of haulers have stopped doing videos and deleted their channel because of the fear of the COPA and the possible fine. But I think it may have been premature based on my understanding of the email they sent. So hopefully people will come back to YouTube and post some videos. I enjoy watching the Comic Haul videos, and I think it is going to be alright. So with that, let's get started. So I have been trying to collect this run of series, and I unfortunately started collecting this book at about issue 10. And so I've been slowly trying to find the back issues. I'm missing maybe four issues. The harder issues to find. Number 1, through 3, and actually 1 through maybe 5 issues. 1 through 4, and I think I'm missing issue 6. But I'm slowly finding them. I'm trying to not go to eBay to get them. It has been optioned by I think HBO, so it's going to go up in value, particularly the early issues, because I don't think the print run is very high, and that's Monstrous by Image. So this is issue number 5. I got that for a quarter. Issue number 8. Issue number 10, which I already had, but for a quarter in their mint, I wasn't going to leave it there. Issue 13, also a book that I had. Issue number 14, and I really think Sana Takada does some very beautiful artwork. Now this issue I didn't even know existed, and this is a variant cover, a Virgin wraparound by Yoshi Yatani of Monstrous number 15. And again, it's not worth anything just yet. The first 10 issues do go for a little money, but that one, it's probably still cover price, maybe a couple of bucks more. But I bought it because I didn't have it. And then this, I think I paid cover price. This is a newer issue, and this is issue number 22. Let's see, what else I got here? I got this comic here by Adam Hughes, Ferris, and I have the entire run of Ferris by where Adam Hughes did all the covers. I'm not really sure why I bought this cover, other than it was a quarter, and it was in high grade. I might have just accidentally picked it up, to be honest, because of that series. Most of the series is not very valuable. It doesn't go for very much money. There's only 2 issues that go for above cover price, and it's this cover here is one of them. There's another one where one of the characters it's all white and she's blowing into it, like blowing cool air from her mouth. But this is a beautiful cover by Adam Hughes. It's all pink. These were in near mint condition. These will go for $8, maybe, on a good day, 10. But, really nice cover. And I got both of those for a quarter. So my guess is I picked that up by accident when I pulled these out and stuck it in the box and meant to take it back out. But, oh well, for a quarter, what are you going to do? This Dark Horse Presents 30th anniversary cover by Adam Hughes. Paid $1 for it. Barbed Wire cover B, issue number 1 by Adam Hughes from 2015. Cover A, Adam Hughes, issue number 1, $1. I paid $1 for that. And then Dr. Alfra number 30. This was the movie Greatest Moments variant, or maybe not even variant, just run. And I paid $1 for that. Adam Hughes. Got this for a quarter. This is Marvel Age number 90, one of the few Marvel Ages that is worth some money. Obviously, the most valuable Marvel Age is the Stan Lee cover. I think that's like, issue 40? I can't recall the actual number anymore. Now, this isn't a near mint. I mean, it's kind of dirty, but it presents well in a Mylar. I got it for a quarter. It's intact. Staples are intact. It's not a near mint. It could be pressed to a little bit higher, but I think it's probably only VG based on the cover having a number of creases, which you can't really tell. I think when I bought it, it was not bagged and boarded, so, but for a quarter, I think it was easily worth a quarter. I bought this comic, Man Monster, Tales of Evil featuring Man Monster, number 3 of, issue number 3 from Atlas. Now, I bought this really only for nostalgia reasons. As a child, most of my comics initially were from flea markets or yard sales that my mother would pick up. And this was the first comic that I was ever allowed to purchase from a store. This was more than likely I got it from a 7-Eleven, and I paid a quarter for this, which kind of is cover price, I guess you could say. But this was my very first comic I ever purchased at a store, and my original copy I have somewhere is all beat up because I read it over and over. The interior artwork isn't bad. It's by Rick Buckler. The story's kind of stupid, but but I bought that really for nostalgia purposes. It's not worth it. It's probably only worth a quarter, if not less. That's why I bought it. So I got this for a quarter, issue number 1 of Echo of Future Past, and this is the first appearance of Bucky O'Hare. So for a quarter, that's a great deal. It was in near mint condition. What was amazing is this book, it's got a lot of white to it, but this was clean, crisp. The corners were, sharp, and there was no spine ticks. The back was clean, and I was amazed that it was still there for a quarter, and how well it was preserved for not being bagged and boarded. And so for a quarter, it was definitely worth it. Even for $1, it'd be worth it in my opinion. I got Flash New 52 #1 for a quarter. I had this already, but for a quarter I thought it was worth picking up. Speaking of which, Flash, that is one of my regular pull books. I do like the Flash, but I thought I would show some variant cover Bs that I think are pretty cool. They don't really get a lot of heat. I mean, everybody knows about Jenny Frizzens and the Artgerm cover Bs and Jenny Frizzens cover Bs for Wonder Woman. Artgerm did Catwoman and Batgirl, the Josh Middleton ones, but there's some new artists that I've never heard of that have been doing cover Bs for the Flash that I've picked up, and some of them may not be totally new, but they're not well known. Flash #7 is by Tony Infantant. That may not be right. Infantante. I'm probably slaughtering his name. I guess I should have looked it up, but that's Flash #7 cover B. I bought that solely for the cover. I thought it was a cool looking cover, and I did pay cover price for that. This is cover B to issue #69 by Mitch Geralds, which I thought is a really nice cover too. How Flash is chasing this car and he shows up in the rearview mirror. Now, when I bought this cover, and I paid cover price for that, when I bought this cover, I thought it was a cool cover, but I didn't realize who it was by until I looked in the interior, and this is a Yasmin Putri cover, who did some Nightwing covers in Red Hood and the Outlaws that got a lot of heat. But it's a nice looking cover. Now this cover I really like by Mitch Gerald also. Just the way that he has the Flash running in the kind of looks like a 70s kind of psychedelic cover. I like that a lot. I actually bought 3 copies of that for cover price. Now, I have not been able to find one of these in a dollar bin yet. And so it'll be interesting to see if it ever goes in a dollar bin. I'd definitely pick it up for $1 again. It's kind of a cool cover, right? Actually, let's leave that up there for you to look at while I'm pulling up books. How about that? All right. So next comic I got for a quarter is Green Arrow #41, the Joker month variant by Bill Sienkiewicz. Kind of a cool cover. Doesn't go for really a lot. Maybe $5, but for a quarter I wasn't going to leave it there. And then I was finally able to finish my run of Michael Turner covers for the Fantastic Four. I actually tried to find the other books so I could show you all the covers in a row, but couldn't. I don't know where they are, so I may have filed them way in the back already. But this is the Fantastic Four 546. Got 2 copies of that. These were all a quarter, by the way. Michael Turner. He did a cover run. I think it's like maybe 8 or 9 issues, and I was missing 2 or 3, maybe 3 covers. And so finally I got it to complete the run. I had this cover already, 551, but for a quarter with Dr. Doom, Michael Turner, I thought I'd pick it up. I was missing this cover, which I was able to find for a quarter, 2 copies, 552 with Dr. Doom. The only copy that I don't have, or cover that I know of that I don't have of the his run, is the sketch cover. So I know there's a sketch cover for 552. I'm not sure which ones have sketch covers, but I know 552 has, and I don't have that. And then I got another copy of this for a quarter. All of those were in near mint, and that's 553 by Michael Turner. So I was able to finish that run off. Michael Turner did quite a few cover runs. that are pretty cool. And you know, as you know, he's deceased and won't be making. You know, actually, it's kind of funny is that he's deceased and isn't drawing in new artwork, but there's still covers coming out by him all of the time. Post mortem, right, or after death. But for quarter, those I think are good. You know, he did the Flash run, which I've shown before, which is great, and he also has some Supergirl run that's great, and then obviously his own titles from Image and Top Cow with Phantom, etc. Got this 4/4 as a near mint. Wonder Woman number 27. I got Wonder Woman 42, Teen Titans Go variant cover month. I love that show, Teen Titans Go. I didn't watch it a lot when it first came out, but now my son watches it all the time. We watch it reruns, and Beast Boy and Cyborg crack me up, man. Calling everybody Raven mamas and stuff. So, this had some heat on it when Deadpool number 2 movie came out, and that's the first appearance of Pete Wisdom. I got that for a quarter. I think this book even got up to like maybe $20 at one time, and there's no way I'd have paid a quarter for Excalibur number 86. I got those two for a quarter. They were in near mint. And then I got this one, a newsstand for a quarter. That was probably VF, just because there's a little color rub down here, and then there's a corner. I think this may be a corner drop or something, but there's a crease here that I wouldn't call a spine tick. Got these two secret variants. They had more, but I figured I'd just get two. And that's the secret variant of Doctor Strange Surgeon Supreme, where the scalpel's in the Doctor Strange costume and the hand is, the sorcerer hand is with the surgeon. So, yeah, I don't think it goes for very much right now. And even right now, I think it's only a $5 book. Cover price is $3.99, which is what I paid for it. Bought this book, Thor number 600, for a quarter, mainly because I didn't have it. It was a $5 cover price. It's a wraparound cover by Mark Drjerdovich, and for a quarter, why not? Now I got this here, really to pair with some other copies that I have, and that is New Avengers number 13. These were all in near mint. And for those of you that don't know, this is the this is when Ronan reveals himself or herself as Maya Lopez, or Echo, as her superhero code name is. So, yeah, and then as you know, later she turns Ronan's costume over to Clint Barton, who is now Ronan. First appearance, I think, is in number 11, as 11 or 10, and then they finally reveal who she is in this issue here. So, $1 for those. I got these two comics here because they were next to the last issues of this volume of Ghost Rider. This is volume 2 Ghost Rider, number 79. It was in near mint condition. I paid a quarter for it. Ghost Rider number 80, which is the next to last issue, for a quarter. I do believe I have 81 in my collection already, and so those are the last issues of that series, and they were in near mint condition. Now, I got this for $1. This was Thor: God of Thunder number 1, the Jason Aaron run of what was that called? God Killer or God Bomb, and I got this for $1. It was in near mint condition, and what's funny is when I bought this comic, it was in the dollar bin of the store. In their back issues, they had this exact same comic in a lesser grade because it had spine ticks and for $10. So you go kind of go figure, right? And actually, this store, because they buy so many collections, I've now learned that if I find a comic in their back issue that's sorted and alphabetized, that unless it's a really hot comic and the price is reasonable, I won't buy it right away until I've gone through all their dollar books. Now I'll carry it around with me in the store and think about buying it, and then if I find it for cheaper, particularly in the dollar bin or quarter bin, then I will take it back and put it back in the appropriate spot too, because I think it's only fair that because they take the time to file their books. I put it back in the correct spot, back in their Thor section. About this Savage Dragon number 13 solely for the cover. It's a Jim Lee, Ed Binez cover. Never seen that before. I thought it was a cool cover of Savage Dragon. Got that for a quarter. Got this for a quarter. Laugh, Archie. As many of you know, some of these Archie books are getting a little heat because of Betty and Veronica when they're in bikini. So for a quarter, why not? Play the game. Got this here in near mint condition. It's Free Comic Book Day Civil War number 20. I'm sorry, Civil War 2 Free Comic Book Day issue. And it is the first appearance of Ulysses Kane and Nadia Pym. It's also in parentheses the death of War Machine. And so, some of these Free Comic Book Day books, as many of you know, has some value, and this is one of them. There's Spider-Man from 2016, and then obviously Umbrella Academy being probably the most valuable one that I know of for Free Comic Book Day. But this book can go for, at one time it was going for a lot more when the Ant-Man movie came out. But I think it's cooled down, and it's still probably maybe $5 to $8 book for a book that was free, which is still amazing. And from my understanding, I believe the comic book stores, when they buy these books to give away, I think they may pay a dime, if not less, depending on how many they buy. So that was for a free comic to be worth that much, I think it's pretty amazing for a tell of the market. Got another copy of Thunderbolts number 1. The regular cover for quarter. Now this comic I had in my collection, but I found it to pull out to go along with 12 and 11, so that they're in the same spot. Obviously, it has a little heat because of the Black Widow movie. They're all in near mint condition. These two I got for a quarter each. This I've had in my collection for a long time, and I think I paid $1 for it. And the only reason why I bought this book was back in the early 80s, Marvel Fanfare, for those of you that don't know, was one of the first books that was only released in comic specialty shops. So it's a direct market only book. So back when newsstand was still pretty popular, and direct comics were not so popular, or I should say were not highly released, Marvel and DC were testing the market for direct sales. And two of the DC titles that were direct edition only, because of their popularity, was the New Teen Titans, and The Outsiders, and Legion of Superheroes. So those were three of the most popular titles for DC Comics. And so when the New Teen Titans, so first there was New Teen Titans, the regular newsstand edition, that became very popular. And when was it? Maybe after the Judas Contract, they changed the title. Maybe it was even before that, to Tales of the Teen Titans, and it became Tales of the Teen Titans when they released the direct market New Teen Titans, and same with The Outsiders. Batman the Outsiders was a very popular title that had a pretty decent sales, and they created The Outsiders, and then that was direct only, and then they also had Legion of the Superheroes that really was popular. And in that first storyline, they killed off Karate Kid, and this was one of Marvel's first direct edition only releases. So they were releasing some of the Epic Comics and Dreadstar comics to the direct market only, and they would be advertising the regular comics. Now, at that time, I was a child and was not driving, didn't have a car, wasn't of driving age, and my parents just didn't take me to a comic shop every new comic release day, and this comic was gone. And so but George Perez, having doing the Teen Titans, was one of my favorite artists at that time. So I had always wanted this comic. I didn't know what it was about. Back then, comics weren't online. If you didn't actually have the book, you didn't know what was in it. And so, but the cover, the black cover, this was in near mint when I paid $1 for it. I always wanted this cover. I wanted this comic because of the art and the cover. And so I found it, and then fast forward 40 years, and that Black Widow movie is about to come out, and this book has some heat on it because of Iron Maiden or something? This character here, her first appearance is number 11. And this is the storyline, 10, 11, 12. Got these for $0.25, and then that for $1. And it's interesting is that I bought these books, 11 and 12, because I had number 10. And didn't even know the movie was coming out. And I'd never read this book, and still haven't read this book. But when I saw the two covers here by George Perez, I thought, maybe that's, a storyline. And so I picked them up for $0.25 before I even knew. This was way before the news of the movie Black Widow solo movie was coming out. And these then got some heat when it was revealed that character was going to be played by the lovely Rachel Weisz in the upcoming Black Widow movie. So, anyway, there's a little history of comics if you didn't know already. Bought this comic here for just the cover. It was $0.25, and the only reason why I got it, and it is beat up, right? It was beat up. It's got missing. Actually, I should push that over. But this is Superman 201, and I got that comic. Looks like it's by Curt Swan, based on the artwork, I would guess. The late Curt Swan, is because one Christmas, my niece gave me one of those, where you buy like at a hobby shop or Target sometimes sell them. It's like a wood plaque that reproduces a famous cover. And they bought me this one because they knew I liked Superman, and I have that on my wall in my office. And when I saw that cover, I was like, it'd be nice to have it to go along with that plaque. So I bought that. So That's the only reason why I got it. And it was a quarter. Captain America number 15 and Adam Hughes cover, the Amazing Mary Jane variant. Paid cover price for that. Got this for a quarter, just because of the cover. Initially, when I got it, I thought it was Greg Horn or Greg Land, and just based on the artwork. But after I got it home and rebagged it, I realized that it is not them. It is Mark Texeira. Well, it very much looks like, Greg Land or Greg Horn, but it's not. And then I have this, kind of out of order with the other Adam Hughes cover, but got that for $1. And then lastly, 2 comics I bought because they were a quarter and in very high grade. The Invincible Iron Man number 136 by Bob Layton is run on Invincible Iron Man at that time with, I think the writer is Dave Michelini. For a quarter and high grade, I probably make. I don't know for sure, but my guess is I have this comic already in my collection, and 137. But because they were in high grade for a quarter, I picked them up. Not only were they in high grade and a quarter bin, but these two were in the same bag. And when you go to these quarter sales, if there's 2 comics in a bag, they don't care. They charge you for one. So really, I paid 12.5 cents for each one of these comics, and that's why I got it, because it was in high grade. So there's my haul. Took a little long because I was a little long-winded, but I appreciate everyone that took their time to watch it. I'm gonna keep bagging and probably post another video shortly this week. Peace out.